All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Boomrz Show, candid conversation with us boomers, us
Hi,
60s.
everybody.
Hey, Diane.
Hi, Kathy.
So,
Happy Thursday evening.
thank you. Same to you. So, hopefully, our other co-hosts will join us in a little while. Pam and Mel. Renee may not be able to make us. She actually joined a Bible study group, so she may not be able to make it for a few weeks, but that's okay. We'll continue on
Yes.
without her. I am excited to announce that, because we broadcast here from St. Louis, at least that's where I'm based at anyway. And we have our first Black female mayor ever in the city of St. Louis. And so we want to
Woo!
congratulate to Shara Jones. Congratulations to Shara.
Congratulations. Woo, woo. STL. My
Yes, yes.
hometown. Go.
She made it. I wasn't sure whether she was going to, but she pulled it out. They say we had a little bit of a low turnout here, which happens in the more minor elections, although to me the local ones are just as important. But she beat out another female. So the other first was for the first time, it was two females running against each other, which has never happened in St. Louis either. So
Yeah.
we're making progress between getting to Shora in the mayor's position and then having Cori Bush, in the House is kind of cool. So we're excited. I'm excited for her anyway. When I was at the still at the bank, and I was in the one of our employee groups, and we invited her to speak. I came up with a program called Pizza and Politics. And so every so often we would invite a politician and we'd have pizza. We did it at lunchtime, invite the employees to come and listen, and then they got a chance to ask questions. And Tashara was one of the first ones that actually came and participated with us. So I appreciated that, and I liked her then. I liked her energy and everything.
Good.
So yeah, and so I'm happy. I am hopeful to see what she's going to do, the changes that are going to be made. They did have a couple of other changes on the board of aldermen, and supposedly some more progressive people on the board. So we'll see what happens here in St. Louis. We are getting that little chunk of money, the COVID relief money. And so the conversation is around, how are we going to effectively use that here in the city? So we hope. She says she's going to canvass the city and come up with ideas and not just come up with her own. So could be some good changes happening in St. Louis in the next 4 years.
Well, here's the thing. I must say that I miss being in St. Louis, and I was in tune to the politics and interested, because obviously I was affected by it. But here in Iowa, it's just not that same feel. And my connection is still with St. Louis politics more so than Iowa. you know.
Hi, Mel. And I understand that.
So
We're
I'm
talking, of
excited.
course, about Tashara being elected.
Mm-hmm.
We
Hmm.
started off with that. And
Which
so
I
I was
think
just
is
saying, I met her
fantastic.
long ago. Yeah, she came to speak to she came to speak at an event that I had set up at the bank, and I'd met her then, and I liked her ever since. I liked her energy and everything, her groove. She actually
Mhm.
did a good job when she was running the parking division here. She saved money and tried to invest it in the schools, the kindergartens, I think. But anyway,
Right.
um,
Mm.
this was a first. I had mentioned right before you got on having two women run actually before, and then our first Black female mayor, because we had a Black male before, but our first Black female mayor. So um, I'm excited for her.
I am too. I'm excited that there's a
Yes.
potential for getting rid of Josh Howley.
That uh-oh. Yes, Lord help us. Let us pray. He's got to go.
He really does.
Roy Blunt is retiring, but Josh Hawley's got to go. We've got to figure out how to get him out. So interestingly enough, so the attempt to unionize at Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
where they're doing it at, they were talking about that, happened to be covering that story this morning on the news, and they showed a poster. And it was one of those Rosie the Riveter posters, the female that they put out, I think, from
Right.
World War II with the sleeve raised and the headband. But the face was Stacy Abrams. And I was like, yes, because it was Stacey Abrams doing that. And I was like, I don't know if she let them use her like this, or, you know, if she agreed to it or they did it anyway. But I thought it was so cool, you know, because she is definitely that person. So
yes, she
is. That was
Mhm.
fun. I liked seeing that. Yeah.
She is that person. And
Yeah.
man, I love it. I love it. I love what's going on, how our young people are getting more involved. In some instances, you know, the young lady in Georgia, you know, being released from all those charges that they were trying to pile on her.
Yeah. Yeah. That they came to their senses and decided not to pursue
Yeah,
the charge.
that may not be a good thing, since she was just knocking on the door and she didn't kick anybody. And there wasn't any resemblance to January 6th, as that officer so stated. You know, he said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was ridiculous. You know.
Yeah.
And she was getting on their nerves, is what they said. How was she doing that? How? I didn't see that in the video, but you know how it is. Crap. That 4-letter word, CRAP, crap.
Mm-hmm. But so Iowa. So what's going on with
Well,
Iowa?
Mel, let me just tell you what I was telling
Oh, now I heard
Kathy.
you saying that St. Louis is your heart.
Yeah, when I was home, I was in tune, and I could just sit down and flow back and forth with the politics there. But I have not been in tune with Iowa politics. The good thing is I know quite a few people and quite a few young people that are involved in our Iowa politics. They've gotten, you know, we got our second black mayor. Uh I have a friend, my daughter-in-law's friend. He's on yeah. She's an alderman. We got our first black female on the board of supervisors. So you got them involved and pushing. So I can about the people. So that's encouraging. But I try mostly to keep. You know, I'm still connected to St. Louis, but I keep involved. You know, I stay up on the Iowa politics. You know, as the when we get into the voting and things like that. But I kind of I don't get excited and as enthused about it as if I were back in St. Louis.
Right.
Because after
So this
all this time, you're a
governor that
temporary Iowan. Miss Emily, after all this time, you still a temporary Iowan.
Kathy, you know, I'm from St. Louis, and we did talk politics when I was there. So
Yes.
yeah, you can call
And
me
she
temporary.
told me, Mel, that she was moving back to St. Louis, that she was not going to spend her retired years in Iowa. She's coming back
Oh,
home to
okay.
St. Louis. So I'm like, all righty, yeah, that's right.
Oh Lordy, that's another question, you know. But that's what I keep up with more than anything. And I read about the Iowa politics, this governor. The one thing that she has done that I like was that when she pardoned you know, she passed the law that our federal offenders could vote,
Vote?
which I thought that was good. Huh?
They can vote?
Yeah, here, yeah.
Nice, nice.
You know, for federal offense.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So she did that. So,
Yeah,
but
because if you think about the preponderance of the
everything else
population that's in this, the prison corporation,
Yes.
and you know, all those votes could make a difference and, you know, turn to some of these elections. So that's good. That's good, and I hope that continues in, you know, other places, because um, you shouldn't lose your right to vote necessarily. You know, especially for certain smaller minor offenses. I don't think so. That's just me.
do you have
True.
So how?
specific question about our politics, Mel?
No, I just heard something about your governor, and I can't even remember what I remember from last week. But that was a good thing that she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that
But
was
as far
before
as
the
what,
election, but everything else, she's still, to me, she's still falling line with the Trump ads, as far as I can see.
yes, that was the basic tenet. So I'm really surprised that she would allow that. So that's amazing. You know, I think that they basically have dossiers on everyone.
Probably. Yeah.
So he basically pulls those out and says, I have this little booklet on you. And if you go ahead and go against this, oh well.
See, I don't even know necessarily that they might have a dossier, although that could definitely be possible. So I'm not saying that's not possible. I just tend to think that because they have been raising the money and doling out the money, that they're trying to keep the control with the money. You know, they have told their donors not to donate to individual campaigns, but to donate directly to Trump. I think, though, that in the next 4 years, 3 years, and 9, 8 months, things are going to come out that this stuff is kind of crumble, because I've listened on the news the past couple of days to hear about the Trump campaign, their political, their PAC raising money, and how the boxes are already checked for you to make these automatic donations.
Oh
And
yeah,
how
they
people
got
have
them.
thousands of dollars coming out of their account that they didn't know. They have had to refund $122 million worth of donations.
Yes, they have.
People. So think about this. They report those numbers on the F Fund channel, their channel, about all this money that they're raising. So listen, I think they reported that somebody raised $200,000, but then you're refunding 200 million. You refund 122 million of that. So your take really isn't as great as they're making it out to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's all shady, playing with the numbers. But if I was, that would give me pause. If I was a T donator, that would make me sit back and wait a minute now. Why y'all trying to rip people off? And they're going to report it to Trump, and you're going to be listed as a deserter and everything if you don't leave that box checked.
Right.
It's insane and ridiculous.
To be quite honest, I think it should be considered criminal.
I think so too. I definitely think that is criminal activity, So we'll see what happens with that. But I was just like, wow, this is how they're getting all that money. They've got these people sucked into these automatic donations. Yeah. And that one older guy that wrote a check for $990 to Trump. And then had more money keep coming out to the point where, his account got frozen and stuff. Why are you giving a rich man all your money?
Why? What I mean? You're broke. You are broke. He just said he's just bottom line broke, okay? And all he had enough for was to pay his bills, barely. And then they're going to take out more of his money. It's called, you should be one of those first ones online saying, he robbed me.
Right.
He robbed me. So anyone that is supporting his agenda, don't. Vote for the other candidate. I don't care.
It just blows my mind that people will go for that, and the amount of, the size of the checks that they are willing to write, and, makes you wonder why. I've given political donations before. They've never had 2 zeros behind them ever.
Mine had been $15. I think was the top dollar that I gave, because they said, give us $5. One of them, I actually gave him $5 because I'm like, okay, really? All right, I'm going to give you $5. Yeah, and then, of course, they continually ask me for more, but it's like, I gave you my $5. Don't come and ask me anymore. Yeah.
And maybe we as Democrats don't have the right mentality. Maybe we should be more forthcoming with the party so that they can run better elections.
Well, you know what?
I think about that, the difference in the giving between the Democrats and the Republicans.
True that. But,
because I don't know, even if I had it, I'm not necessarily sure if I would have wrote a $990 check to a candidate that I,
Too many hungry people, people who need electric bill, light bill, and stuff like that paid. I'd be writing that check to them.
Yeah. I can think of better
Yeah.
uses for that money than giving that kind of money to a rich person.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, $5, $10,
Yeah.
$20 donation, maybe,
Yep.
but nothing with two zeros. No. Especially from a guy that said he probably funded himself. He didn't need campaign contributions, and then he's the biggest beggar in the game.
That is the thing. I'm kind of like, you said you're a billionaire and you can fund your own campaign. So I'm going to watch you do that.
Exactly. When is that going to happen? Never.
Never. And then after the campaign, to continue to put money in your PAC and don't send it to the RNC is kind of like,
you're going to be the kingmaker and decide who gets the money. And they got to come begging to you and kiss the ring. Oh, hell no. These folks have lost their mind. I'm sorry. They've lost their freaking minds. Rick Gates.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Diane, what do you think about Rick? Good old Ricky.
Slick Rick.
I think his time is coming. It's catching up with him.
So do I.
I hadn't heard of him until I was watching him on the news. And what I saw today was there was a photograph with him with Roger Stone. So he's all in that little circle. So I just think it's all going to catch up with them now. And that's where it's headed. That's what it's about him.
Rich, spoiled white boy, thinking that he can do whatever he wants to do because his daddy has money. And got his nuts now caught in a sling because, you're slinging your second head around and they get themselves in trouble with two heads. It's just.
Here's the thing that I want to know. What made you pay for anything using your Apple Pay? Can you please tell me?
Two reasons. One, common sense is not common. And two, just because you have money or was born into money does not make you smart in the least. This guy is a dummy. He crawled himself all the way up in Trump's gut, and thought that would save him. And then when he came begging for a possible pardon, they said thanks, but no thanks. But lack of brains. Did you not watch what's his name went through? The guy that killed himself in the prison that was messing with all the young girls.
Oh, Jeffrey, good old Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes. Were you not paying attention? What part of 17 and under is illegal?
Yes.
Here's another thing though. It's stuff out here, y'all, because I had not heard of the sites that they had mentioned. So you could go find you a sugar daddy, or you can volunteer to be a sugar baby.
Oh yes, yes.
It is.
I heard about that.
It just blows my mind.
It was one of those shows. My husband and I were scanning through. You know how you kind of channel surf, and this was a stupid little dating show or whatever it was. But this girl said, "Well, I've been I've been on sugar daddies or whatever," because they had a show actually, but they were all legal. All of them were 21 and older, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So but what makes a grown man want to be with a 17-year-old girl? Because you're 38 now, and that girl, this was in 2017, so that's 4 years ago. You were 34 years old, and you couldn't find a 21-year-old woman to escort around the country.
This is what gets me. Yeah, the women your age are not good enough for you, or maybe women your age you feel like will see through you and they won't want to be bothered with you. So you got to find some youngster who doesn't know better, because a woman your age would be like,
yes. And then you're going to show.
No, it comes down to he think he can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, privilege is definitely part. Oh,
And
definitely.
arrogance.
Definitely. They think they can
Yeah,
do whatever they want to
he think he can get, get exactly, and I can get away with it. I have the means to get away with it.
and it's licensed collector friend,
I can flaunt
making
it.
the fake IDs. It just boggles the mind. But I will say this too. I am concerned about voters in Florida
I am too.
because they seem to have been not only drinking the Kool-Aid, but ingesting the algae or something. Um,
Well,
why they go for these politicians that are more or less, I just don't understand how they let them get away with, the kind of stuff that they let them get away with in Florida.
well, you have different populations, different segments, and some of them are cartel related, and they have
Mhm.
a big interest in keeping certain people in place. And so when you have that kind of influence, because you have to look at Miami-Dade County and all of those. Come on now. That's where, Broward County, all of those are the
Yeah,
ones where
I
you
guess I
have,
think about how he was so incredibly reckless with the amount of elderly people that live in Florida, and how come those people um, didn't? Because there's got to be more elderly people than it is, um, let's say, rich Cubans in Florida. How does this guy still stay in office?
well, you have to think, hold on. If you have grown up and you were a part of, not just grown up, but you are a part of that racist crew that basically were very comfortable with the original Jim Crow laws. Okay, you were raised in the 50s, you were raised in the 40s. Those are those retirees right now
Right,
sitting
you're
down
right.
there, and they were comfortable
Mhm.
with that segregation. They were comfortable with that your place.
That is
And
true.
someone's telling them that we're going to bring that back in no uncertain terms, that you're entitled to have the neighborhood you want, and you see ads like that
Mm.
go unchecked.
Yeah. What are we coming to as a country? Because remember when, even at our worst, we always fell back on trying to do the right thing and being honest and good sports. When did we become the country that losers are not losers anymore? And that you don't know how to be a good sport. You know what I'm saying? When did we make that switch over, which I want to say was 2015, to
No, it
what
started
we
in
represent
2000.
is not what we used to represent
It
as
started
Americans.
in 2000 with the Bush election and the Tea Party. Remember, it was Florida then.
Very true.
Okay,
Very true.
Florida then,
Yep. Yep.
because we all know who won that election, and it wasn't George Bush.
Infamous hanging chads.
It was not George Bush Jr. They know it. We all know it.
Jeb was the governor, and guess what? The election
That's
went the way
right.
the governor wanted it to go. Hmm.
And they had the little red lipstick
Mm.
wearing white girl that was the Secretary of State that made the voting rules and changed them to meet that need.
I have forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the Tea Party was the beginning of the end,
Tea
I think.
Party became what we now know as the QAnon, the alt-right, the white nationalists, and whatever other pretty name they want to put on plain old KKK,
Yeah,
with Nazi tentacles.
right. Which, incidentally, I'm looking forward to watching that movie that's coming on Sunday, the series about the woman whose son got killed by the KKK and she sued them and took them down. A black woman.
Okay.
It starts Sunday.
Which network?
I don't know. I want to say the
That's on CNN, right?
It may be, yeah, CNN.
Okay.
But I know the series starts Sunday, and I'm dying to
CNN.
watch it. I remember the story, but I want to see, the back part of it, how it goes down. Because at the end, she was awarded their property and everything. It was
good.
It was amazingly wonderful when it happened. I remember that. It was a nice, sweet, tasty thing to happen.
What I've found here,
yeah, I plan to watch it too.
There are a lot of shows like that coming up right now to bring back to our memory, or even just to our knowledge base, that a lot of these things happened and went unchecked.
Have you all been watching Soul of a Nation?
I have.
Okay. I missed the first one. I missed the first two.
What network is that?
It was a special that they, kind of a special series that they did, and it came on.
Which one was it on? Because I rarely watch a particular thing.
I think it was on ABC.
And what's her name?
Sunny Hostin did one little segment called The Kitchen.
I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, she did a piece each time called The Kitchen, where she had a few people in the they were actually sitting in like a living room setting, but they talked about one particular little topic, and she just called it The Kitchen because it's in case the conversation got hot, there was no food or anything involved. But I do want to circle back around and catch the first two, because they talked about different things on each episode. So that was, like you said, Mel, they are showing different things, either to get you woke, keep you woke. And interestingly enough, I heard one commenter earlier today talk about how they're tired of the Republicans using the word woke.
Yes, I saw that on Joy
no
Reid.
Longer means what it
like you have you can stop, don't do it. Jamel, what's that sportscaster that left ESPN, the black girl, she said, please stop them from
using yes. Stop using it.
But did you guys know that there was a massacre in Louisiana where 300 black people were basically burned alive?
No.
Yep.
No.
It's amazing the things that keep coming out. It was amazing because they talked about in Louisiana, and I wanted, because I looked it up. Was it the Cali something? It was a Louisiana massacre where 300 black people were basically bombed, burned out, and then those who escaped from the fire were shot as they were running out.
Wow.
I mean, there are so many massacres that you're kind of going, wait a minute. And this happened in 19 I want to say like in the 20s. Colfax massacre, that's what it is. The Colfax massacre. Look that one up.
Look that up. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking that up.
And I'll take it back. It was 1873, April 13th. It was on my birthday. That's why that one just kind of like stuck in my head. But 1873, Colfax massacre, and it was on Easter Sunday.
All right, I'm just putting that in the.
Because they were talking about Reconstruction, and in 1873 this happened. After the war and everything else. And they were basically like, these black people aren't going to have, all this effort.
Well, I just put it on the comment, so in case anybody looks and we want to reference it, it's there. So the Colfax Massacre, 1873, Easter Sunday. And when was your birthday?
April 13th.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, it's coming up. And
coming up. Right.
My daughter.
Oh, yeah.
my daughter just gave me a surprise birthday party on Sunday.
Nice.
It was a big surprise.
Nice.
I was totally blown away because we had my niece's wedding on Saturday, and my oldest sister came in and her friend. And then she had, called some people and said, well, since my aunt is here, I want to go ahead and do something for my mom. Can you guys make it on this Sunday? And so several of my friends said yes. And apparently they all got together. I had to go pick up my sister. I thought we were just doing like an Easter brunch at Capitol Grill. Amazing. It was like they were sitting there and they're like, surprise. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you guys doing here? I mean,
I love when people can pull off surprises. Good for them.
It was fun.
Yes.
So I'm officially really into my 60s, or rather 60s. As I told them, I used the name. I said,
For the
okay,
60s.
we are the 60s. And
That's
they
right.
said, oh, I like that. I'm going to have to use that. I said, yes.
Exactly.
We're not in the 60s. We're in the 60s.
There you go.
So,
Good. Then we get another week. Then next week we'll get to say happy birthday to you again. So I'm glad they did that for you. Good. That's
yeah,
good.
it was good.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, good dinner, good conversation. And, several people, of course, couldn't make it because she was going to do it next weekend. But since my sister was here, she
Did it. That's good, though.
Early. And I said, you know what, this was perfect. The number of people there was just perfect.
And for you on Easter Sunday of all Sundays, it's just that worked out.
Yeah,
it was.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Well, we barbecued for the first barbecue of the season.
Oh.
We decided to go ahead and grill. So we threw some meat on the grill, and folks came and ate a lot of it. And so that was a good thing because I hate having a bunch of leftovers. And so it was nice. It was nice. The meat was good. He did a good job out there on the grill. So.
Did you guys do anything special, Diane?
Yes, I was with my son and his family, and I dyed eggs with the grandkids the night before, and then we had a nice dinner on not Christmas, on Easter. I went to, I watched church online, but yeah, it was a beautiful, nice, beautiful. But the fun thing was dyeing the eggs and then getting together on Sunday with my son and his family, and it was great.
Now, do you do any cooking anymore, Diane? Do you do any other cooking anymore? Let me tell you, you should have said
that. Always bring a dish, but what I did for Sunday was I baked a ham, I fried some fish, I made some spaghetti, and I made a pound cake, and that's what I took,
All right. I'm just wondering, because I want your cooking skills to be falling off, because when she was here, the egg could throw it out.
Dear.
So that's why I wonder,
let me tell you something. Well, let me just tell you this. Not only did I bake this pound cake, but I also made a video showing my daughter-in-law how to make the pound cake.
Ooh.
So that was fun.
You have to share that because that is one cake that I cannot make. My sister makes the best pound cake,
but just know there is more to come, So they were all like critiquing the video, telling me that I should do my YouTube. My son telling me, well, you got to have an intro, you got to have a banner. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. I was up doing this, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun just showing her how to do it and trying to edit the little piece. But it was a lot of fun. So I am going to be making another video, and I'll share that.
Okay.
Nice. Well, let me know if you want to put your show on the Low Life Entertainment channel. You too.
Well, honey, we can always, you just say, we can, we know, we sexies, we can always collaborate,
Yes.
because it's about
Yes.
being productive, finding things for our hands to do, and that's the little season that I'm in. So I had a lot, I had a lot of fun, ladies, being in front of the camera. My daughter and my little grandbaby say, Dwayne, you wearing some lipstick? I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing lipstick. But I enjoy it was
See?
fun.
Good, good. Then we'll be looking forward to your cooking videos coming out later on in the spring.
Absolutely.
All right.
That'll be
Oh,
that's cool. I like cooking videos. I like watching people show me how to make something new.
I do watch cooking shows for that very reason. So
yes,
yeah, I would watch something like that. You
Hmm.
know.
yeah.
Cool.
Hmm.
Cool. All right. You got to come up with a name and
So
everything. We'll help you out. Let us know.
sexy's on the go. All right. Woo, woo,
The sexy chef.
Sexy chef. I like that. That's a good
Sexy
one.
chef. Yeah, you got to be the sexy chef.
woo.
That one's
Yeah.
good. Now,
And on that note, I guess, do you have something that you want to close us off with,
Well, I'm going to
Diane?
close you off with something I read on. Yes, I'll close us out with something that I read on Facebooks. And here it is. People, this is from Dr. Lily Simmons, the one that wrote the book on intimacy. But she said that people in the boomer generation say what they mean and mean what they say. A few weeks ago, one of my friends wanted to get multiple copies of my book, but didn't have enough money at the time. I signed the books and left them with, as I believe in streaming everything and streamlining everything I can. Just cash app me later, I said. She confirmed she would. I didn't any more about it this morning when I was notified that she sent money she owed me without me asking. I'm grateful today for people who keep their word. So that, ladies, sexies, it was just it's a reminder as boomers, as sexies, to be women of our word, to keep our word, to say what we mean and mean what we say. So that piece right there inspired me, and I hope it inspires you.
I like it because I do think that we are, and I hope it's not the case, getting to the point where people aren't about their word, and meaning what they say. So I hope the boomers aren't the last generation that is true about.
that's true.
But good one.
Right.
All right. Well, ladies,
Yes.
audience, everybody have a good rest of the week. We will be back next week, same bad time, same bad channel. Hopefully with some great conversation and our other part of our posse.
What shall our
And
topic be? Shall
Yeah.
we think on?
I don't know, but we're gonna wish Mel a happy birthday again. Her birthday is April the 13th, by the way. So
Yes.
those of you have time right
Yes.
now to wish her a happy birthday. You have days, rolling up to that. So don't wait till the last minute and then forget. April 13th is her birthday.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now,
Yeah.
one thing that we might want to think about is next week it'll be closer to the end of the George Floyd trial, they expect. So we might want to discuss, what's going on with it, and because it's been somewhat interesting on some days. I don't get to watch it very often, but I listen to it while I'm working, and it's
I agree with you. The witnesses for the uh, prosecution have been stellar, dead on, and I don't see any way that I don't even see where there should be a juror who has questions as thorough as the prosecution is being about presenting the evidence and what happened.
right.
So I am thinking that Chauvin's probably crying every night because he know he's going to prison. You
But
know.
for what he did to that man, and listening to the specialist today, the thoracic specialist today, that was so painful.
Yes. The moment that they showed and said his eyes were open and his eyes closed, and he said that's the moment that the life left out of his body. Just impactful. So
And then one thing I have to remind everybody of: monoclonal antibodies. Okay, it is essential. I have, if anybody, I mean, I have a phone number to the one here, the clinic here, but they can potentially give you the number to the one that's in your city. But monoclonal antibodies are important. I had a friend whose life was saved by it because she got COVID, and she's 71 and high risk because of just her age. And she was having difficulty breathing. Now, conversely, she had a friend in Louisiana, didn't get it, she died.
yeah, it definitely makes a difference. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do need to keep mentioning that until we get past this thing.
Yeah,
so the monoclonal antibodies will allow you, if you get the illness, to not have to be hospitalized. It knocks down the severity of the illness to the point
absolutely.
where it becomes a minor thing. And
So where do you get it?
There are infusion clinics at hospitals. Now, in every city, major city, there are at least two. I mean, in that, like your Metroplex area. In Dallas, there are two. There's one in a city called Irving, and there's another one in Fort Worth. So the DFW area has two infusion clinics, but most people don't know about it, and it's just a crime because people are literally dying that probably shouldn't. I had someone just the other day that I shared that information with, and they just went today and got their infusion because they're asthmatic and have other comorbidities that basically, and we're not talking about someone old. This one's young, but so it's not age related. It is basically if you have any comorbidity, and that even includes high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because this is a deadly disease, and it's still killing about 1,000 people a day. And there's no reason for this to be happening. When we have a treatment, it's not going to cure you of it. It's going to make, like Kathy said, lessen the severity of the disease.
Keep you from dying.
And you have to get it within 10 days of being diagnosed. That's the key, though. If it's not within 10 days, they're going to probably turn you away. And that's
so for you people that get your shots, so you don't have to worry about this. Go and get your vaccinations. Most of the states now
here, done.
Open up. They're opening up in the state of Missouri now, St. Louis in particular. If you're an adult, anybody can go now. You don't no longer have to make reservations. You can go. And in St. Louis, they have extras. They have plenty. So go get those shots, please.
Yeah.
But if you are one of those get diagnosed, like Mel says, request monoclonal antibody infusion.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that, because I do think we need to, mention that every time until we get past this.
Are we all vaccinated? I've got my 2.
I got my one.
Okay.
Second was coming up. I know Pam's got her I know she got one. I don't know if she's got the second one yet, but I know she has one. So Renee, I'm not sure about. We'll have to find out when she's back on if she's got vaccinated. But I feel such a sense of relief having that first one.
Because I received my vaccine, the second one, a week before the wedding. I wasn't going to that wedding if I didn't have that. I just wasn't going to do it. It was just because, and now everybody wore masks at the wedding, right? But guaranteed when you got to the reception,
yeah,
you would have thought we were back in the day.
Because they tell you, so here's the thing. They tell you, you've got to take your mask off to eat and drink. Well, at something like that, everybody's just going to have their mask off because, the theory is you're eating and drinking, but you're talking and, that's going on all around. So, We still have to be careful. You're right. But
Right.
you are now fully vaccinated. So you know, can definitely
Yes,
breathe.
I felt much more comfortable, and I did put my mask on even at the reception most of the time, except for when I was eating. But you know, it was like, oh no, this is insanity. So yeah, stay safe, and we will chat next week, I guess.
All righty, all righty. Well,
Yes.
everybody have a great week. Mel, have a good birthday. We'll circle back around and sing
I
again next
shall.
week. So keep hopping on it, baby, because you know you get to celebrate. To me, you get to celebrate the week before, the week after, the whole month, however you do it.
Absolutely. 61. Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
All right, my fellow sexies and everybody, thank you for joining in. We'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Okay.
Bye.
Great. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.